Welcome, Bernie, to this dinner party.
It's a dinner party, and everybody that's joined us has joined in on the sweet DP action.
Oh, God. For those of you who don't know, that's a Mythic Quest reference. If you have Apple TV, please watch that show. Anyways, let's get down to it. Welcome to the Bodacious Rant, with Burn and Rye as always.
Absolutely.
And this evening, we will be discussing the newest episode of Marvel's What If.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say right now, it's not necessarily my favorite, but it's not the worst. Yeah,
but
out of the three.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
No, not bad at all. But again, it's only 3 episodes in, so I'm trying not to be too harsh about it. But I remember when I was first watching it, I was like, "Man, this episode sucks." but then after it started going, after like the first 5-6 minutes, I was like, "Oh, okay, this is better. I'm getting this."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It definitely was the darkest one out of all of them, in my opinion. Where
sure.
there were some pretty messed up parts in this episode, and just very much more adult themes than the last couple have had. So, overall, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 rantings just because, pros, it had some good moments. I really liked this, kind of version of the what if story, with the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about that in the spoilers a little bit. But the only things I think that kind of ruined it for me, which again we'll dive more into, was I think the animation wasn't that strong, this one,
Mm-hmm.
and the voice acting was definitely a little lackluster. With certain scenes, not necessarily the whole time, but there were a couple moments I was like, "Wow,
Mm-hmm.
what am I watching? Is this Lion King all over again? Please don't."
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. It's also a 3 out of 5 for me. For pretty much the same reasons that you listed. For me, I felt like the animation and the story were at odds with each other. So, I mean, we'll get into that once we dive deeper into the spoilers and stuff. But I just felt like that was a little bit too much of a disconnect there for me to really enjoy it as much as I would have wanted to. And the voice actors that they got. I mean, they were able to get back a lot of the actors that play these characters in the Marvel movies. But it just goes to show that there is a difference between acting and voice acting. So you really don't appreciate that until you see it or you hear it actually. So that's I'm right on the line there with you.
For sure. But let's jump into the spoilers. So, as usual, if you guys haven't seen it, come on back until after the fact. But for those who have, let's dive into what we liked about this episode, but spoiler edition. What do you say?
Yeah, let's cut in deep into this mysterious episode.
Again, I love just Jeffrey Wright's very Twilight Zone voice. It's fantastic.
He's
it really
great.
gets you into the mode, but let me say this. So I thought the plot was very interesting that, what if we lost the Avengers, not because, they lost at a battle. It's they were getting killed off. Yeah. I thought that was really cool.
Before they assembled.
Yeah, very, like a very political thriller / noir story.
Like murder mystery.
Murder mystery, yeah. So I really like that aspect of it, especially, but the one of the things I was talking about, actually, that was both the bad voice acting and the animation, was in the beginning where they recreated that Iron Man 2 scene where they go to Randy's Donuts in Inglewood, and I just again, I know it's a what if story, like an Elseworld story, so they don't have to say it verbatim, but if you're going to, which they kind of did, I think they could have had a little bit more to it. Sam Jackson could have done a little bit more. But I mean, that was the only time I really think the voice acting was not that great.
Because they do that thing where the first episode of the series did, where they go back to points that we've seen in the movies, and here they even, they take lines of dialogue that the same actor, Samuel L. Jackson did the voice for Nick Fury here too, and he has the same lines, but the delivery here is just a little bit more stiff. You see that. He's not really, or I guess you get the sense that he's not really comfortable with the voice acting. As the episode goes along, I think he does a lot better. But like you said, there are moments where it just kind of takes you out of it because you don't feel the emotionality of the lines.
Yeah, I mean, that was funny because I was watching Inglourious Bastards, and he was the narrator in that. So I was kind of hoping he would bring the same flair back, but there is a difference between narrating and reading, voice acting, like you said. So,
yeah.
And that, like I said, that first thing I was like, oh man, this is kind of weak. Like, oh, like the stuff that they were supposed to save Tony Stark from his like poisoning from the, oh my god, I can't remember that movie. Just the palladium poisoning in the second one, and then it's like, oh no, he's dead. It's like, like what? Okay, like so Widow killed him then, but I think it was fair. And then when we see like the Thor part and how Clint shoots an arrow at him before he grabs the hammer, I was like, oh, you dick.
Yeah.
He's just like, I didn't shoot it. It's like, well, clearly you did.
It's, like,
it's your arrow. Kind of. But
it wasn't me. It was the one-armed man.
All right, I confess. I did, yeah, and I'm glad I tell you. I love the mask, but you know, I thought that was like the perfect. I like that aspect though. Let's pin it on the two like Black Op assassins of the Avengers. You know, Hawkeye and Black Widow, which makes sense because they have very shady histories, as we've seen in the movies, and we'll see in Hawkeye's series. But it didn't really get. I thought like until the Thor part / Hulk scene where, you know, Hulk gets blown up like a frog, like from the Eric Bana Hulk movie. I thought that was super fucked up. They brought that into this because I was like, oh my god, no, that's a horrible way to go.
I was like, there's no way you can. I mean, he even says it, you know, like I'm unkillable or whatever. But apparently he is. They found a way to do it.
Yeah, just, you know, just a little lodged in there, and just like I was like, no, and just that part was gross.
Yeah, and this is one of the moments where I felt like the animation and the story just kind of like were at odds, you know, where when I mean obviously they're not gonna have the whole blow up into a bunch of little pieces, you know, that wouldn't be too PG, or you know, Disney wouldn't do that. I don't think they would have gone that far, but
we can't have a James Gunn moment in this episode. So just because like out in Suicide Squad there's blood and guts everywhere, we can't do that for a family show. So that'd be crazy if they did though. I
would have been impressed. I would have been very impressed if they went.
I would just been like, oh wow, Disney went there. Oh shit!
I'd have been the John Lovitz just.
I can't do his face. It's so great every time. Just the. It's so hard. He captures that. But the other really like adult scene was just when Black Widow's she finds out that it's like, oh, it's all about Hope, like Hope Van Dyne, you know, Hank and Janet's daughter. And she's just getting thrown around. I thought, whoa, this is a little gruesome to... I mean, it's not like she was getting, like, you saw bruises or blood, but it's like, you can imagine what was happening.
Yeah, it was like a horror movie scene, kind of like in The Conjuring when, you know, characters get, like, pulled up and just, like, thrown around a room. It was just like, oh, this is kind of crazy.
Or last year's Invisible Man when...
yeah.
Oh, my God, what's that actor's name again? Elizabeth Moss?
Elizabeth Moss, yeah.
Okay, yeah, like when she was getting beat up by, you know, her ex-husband in the invisible suit. But, spoiler, sorry guys. Well, this is spoiler section, so if you haven't seen Invisible Man,
you know. It's just a general spoiler blanket, you know. We might reference other things and spoil that, you know. This is what happens.
That's all I'm gonna say. Just, but I thought it was like when the Hulk and Thor came in. That's when it got really good for me. Like I was like, okay, this is much better. I like that they brought in Frank Grillo for Crossbones, like how he's... I mean, he could still be Hydra. We don't know at this part, but I thought that was cool. They brought him back.
He did a pretty good job, I think, in his few lines that he had.
Yeah, and then the other what-if aspect I liked was that Loki and, you know, the brothers, the Warriors 3 and Lady Sif, and even the Destroyer, they all came down to Midgard / Earth to avenge the brother.
Yeah.
And I was like... No, I'm pretty sure Loki still have your game. Like, but we'll have to see how it went out. And, you know, Nick Fury was able to dodge that bullet, but like, listen, I'll help you find him.
Yeah.
And then we see Captain Marvel like with a little pager thing. I was like, my God, they're just bringing everybody in right out of the gate. But the Hank Pym scene was pretty crazy, just because it's like, I guess the whole MCU's kind of hinted that he would be the one to snap. Like he's always been a little unstable.
Yeah,
you know?
and he has a lot of resentment against S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, and like Stark and everybody. So, it made sense he would be the villain. I thought his suit as the Yellow Jacket slash like Ant-Man was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I thought that was a good hybrid because because Hank Pym does become Yellow Jacket at one point. I don't know if he's the original. I forgot how that goes in the comics. There's too many to keep up with.
Yeah, they rewrite the canon anyway. So at one point, yeah, he does take on the Yellow Jacket mantle.
But the one thing that it did brilliantly that I really liked was when Loki basically used his deal with Fury. Oh yeah, like let me stay on Earth, and he ends up taking over the world that way. It's like, oh man, he actually won. Like, this sucks. But Nick Fury's like, we lost the Avengers, but that doesn't mean it could be anybody else. Like, just this group died. Let me recruit some more.
Yeah.
So, and we see Cap Shield stuck in ice because he hasn't woken him up yet.
Yeah.
It's like, and then Captain Marvel appears next to him. I was like, oh, the two captains finally fighting together. This is gonna be amazing.
Yeah, from the start. And I was like, and that's where it ends. Like, no, no, you can't end there. How dare you?
Oh man. But overall, like I said, it was really just the beginning that I thought the voice acting was bad. I mean, was there anything else like you thought maybe could have been better at all, or?
Like in terms of voice acting, no. I mean, I think it was just like that part in the beginning. I think just some of like Clark Gregg's lines where he comes back as reprising his role as Coulson. I really liked seeing him back, but just some of the things they had him say was just kind of like weird. Like especially when they were admiring Thor's dead body. It was just like, this smells like lavender. Like,
it's like, why are you wanting to smell a corpse? Yeah, that was just a little. I mean, it's just kind of in poor taste, to be honest. But given in this episode, they don't know who Thor is. They don't know this guy, so they're just kind of baffled by him. But I think just because we've seen all the movies, we've seen Thor's growth. It's like, fuck.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But besides that, for anyone, I guess it works for those of you who hadn't seen it. But since this is like a canon show, like within the Marvel multiverse and stuff like that, and if you kind of need to have seen the movies to understand this, at least. It was just in poor taste, I thought. So I didn't care for that too much, but...
Yeah, it was just one of those like moments of Marvel humor that just didn't land with me, personally.
No, not at all. I was a little... Like I said, it was a little off-putting for me. But
and I did really like the fight at the end, where Loki posing as Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Just smacking around Hank when he's like trying to fight him. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I was thinking like, yeah, right, Fury could do any of this. Come on, like,
I was like, okay.
This is a little. But when he did the flip, I thought, okay, no, this definitely got to be Loki. And then when he's like, I don't care about any of those things, or I don't remember. It's like
Tom Hiddleston did great in his voice acting. He's just great all around.
He's quite the gem. I mean, that's why his series at this point in time is the best MCU series so far. So, well, that's pretty much it for me. And then I guess the last thing on the animation. It just felt too cartoony.
Yeah. Like
okay, good. I'm not the only one.
I felt like the art style was a little bit more cartoon. Like they've been like a little. I mean, the general style is all the same, but it seems like they do like certain things with. I'm not sure what, but the first episode and the second episode look a little bit different. Like I think like the filters that they use in the first episode make it look a little bit like more of that old timey sense. Like sort of reminiscent of the the videos of the 1940s and how that kind of looked and that little bit of sheen that has. And whereas the second episode was a lot more leaning to the Guardians of the Galaxy art styles, with all the neon colors and just having a lot of fun with that. And then this one, being a murder mystery story, it felt more like, I don't know, like I just popped. Like really, like the colors were really like poppy. Where I felt they should have gone a little, like they should have leaned a little more into the noirish aspects. With using shadow and just using light and like just basically having more motivated lighting. It's like it seemed like everything was just kind of bright.
It could have been a little more washed out if they wanted to go for like a murder mystery kind of thing, to be honest. But also, I think. It just would have been a little bit better, like more 2D, especially for some of the action scenes. I think it would have done it a better it would just made it feel and look better. Where this one, yeah, like it was way too bright. I thought the movements were a little, they didn't feel as realistic as the last couple have. Like I felt like the other two just felt, I could see this more in a movie than this one could for sure.
Yeah, because like the fight scenes with Captain Carter in the first one they felt like they had like some sort of weight to it, whereas like the fight scene in particular in this episode with where Black Widow's in the back of the cargo truck and beating everybody up, and like it just looked very floaty and just like cartoonish. Where again, when we praised the action of the first episode, I think this one was a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah, and for kind of a cool premise, it was just, again, very lackluster. So, but this episode wasn't bad. It's just the weakest one so far. So we'll have to see how the rest of this season goes. But hopefully it doesn't go down from this.
If this is the lowest point it gets, then I'll be very happy.
Exactly. But anyways, I think that'll do it. Are we done, Bern?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Okay.
That's all I got to say about that.
For sure. Everybody, let us know in the comments. Did you like this episode? What were your favorite moments? What do you think could have been better? Was it the animation, the voice acting, maybe the story in general? What didn't sit well with you? But let us know in the comments. Give us a like. Subscribe as well if you've seen us. And above all, stay bodacious. Keep on ranting and stay safe, please. Bern, and I'll talk to you later, my dude.
All right, my man. Like you said, everybody be good, be safe, and we will see you all on the next What If Wednesday.
I'll see you there, or I'll see you another time.
I'm confused. Are we going to be there?
Talk to you later, man.
Adios, man.